Hey, what is good, YouTube? Hey, it's G Ray here with Midwest Maverick Sports. Been meaning to do a how-to video on betting on sports. Want to put this out. If you're subscribed or returning to my channel, just want to say thank you. This thing's been going for about 2 months so far. Really having a lot of fun. Meeting a lot of cool people online. Really enjoy making the videos, talking sports. So, like I said, Midwest Maverick Sports. Check my channel out, like, subscribe. Like I said, 2 months in, I do football, basketball. I'll be starting up college basketball here in a couple weeks. So, but this video here is going to be strictly walking you through how to place wagers and bets on sports, and going over some fundamentals, a lot of terminology and stuff like that. So it might be pretty boring, or you probably already know if you bet on sports a lot of what I'm talking about, but it's more of an introductory to people that aren't too familiar or just getting into wagering on sports. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a website and a sportsbook that I have, Sportsbook AG. It's one of the longest existing online sportsbooks you can get, and now everybody knows with the legalizing of sports, a lot of this stuff is coming out of the woodworks. A bunch of news sites are popping up, but like I said, I've had an account with them for a long time, right? Probably going on, say 15 years. So like I said, I'm going to walk you through. We'll talk some, just the terminology, like I said, from Vegas, odds makers, how they set lines and set numbers and matchups, and parlay cards, teasers, stuff like that. So I'll probably just focus on utilizing NFL or NCAA football, because that seems to be the most popular right now as an example when I walk through this. So hey, once again, if you're new, welcome, Midwest Maverick Sports. Hey, and if you're returning, hey, welcome back. And then when this video is over with, comment if you have any questions or want me to clarify anything that I may have been confusing to you, or I didn't go enough detail on in this video. Just let me know in the comment section, and I'll try to help you out as much as possible. So, like I said, I'm going to talk like if you're brand new to betting on sports. So, and some of you that are pretty veterans at it, or pretty experienced, it might just be a refresher, or some things you might learn. You might learn one or two things that you did not know. So let's get into it. So sports betting as a whole, it's pretty profitable if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just placing bet on luck. If you don't, a lot of times, you never want to do blind picks. But it's one of the most profitable industries in the world, mostly off the books, because it's been illegal for the most part outside of Vegas, sports books, for up until this year, when federally it was voted to be legalized. States are still back and forth on it. Some sports books are popping up in certain casinos, but states are still a little shaky on allowing it full blown. Most states, though, online gambling is legal. If you look it up, a lot of people like to tend to think that it's not, that it is illegal, but it's most states are legal. Nobody's ever been really prosecuted for online gambling. It's ridiculous. With most sites being offshore, of course. So then you have to deal with taxes and all that. But this is not. I'm gonna not focus really on that. This is just, hey, if you go online and you want to have a sports book online, this is how, and like a how-to and familiarization of betting on sports. So like I said, this is Sportsbook AG here. Obviously, I'm not gonna log into my account here, but so this is a typical front page of any sports betting site. You have all your different styles of play over here, along with the different sports. Obviously, you have a sports book and a race book for horses, casino, all that good stuff that you can do online casino on here. Blackjack, all that good shit. But this is focused on sports, so I'm going to use NFL for this video. So I'm just going to click on NFL, and then you're going to see over here also these subcategories. So you want to see the NFL lines, which we'll talk about. Probably like these different categories you can bet on. Prop bets, which I'll talk about briefly. I don't do prop bets, or sometimes I will just for the heck of it, just for fun. But in season futures, you can bet on future matches. Who's going to be in who you think the odds, who you think are going to play each other in the Super Bowl or whatever. But we'll start out here. We'll start out first off NFL lines. Okay, so NFL game lines, you can bet on first half, quarter, second half, all that. But we'll just go right in straight game lines. This is total for these are. All right, so in Vegas you have odds makers. Odds makers at different sports books. They set these numbers. Okay, what the spreads are, what the total for the game is going to be. So this is on the full game right here. See, it's up here. It's selected. It says game lines. But if you go to first half, they don't have them posted yet. There's some props. They don't have these posted yet. Well, that's not a very good example, but it's going to be the same thing for first half. Just the numbers will be different. For each game. Okay, so game lines. So obviously you have the matchup here. For instance, this Thursday you have Dolphins at Texans. This is called this column here. This category is called the money line. Okay, which I'll talk about in a second. The middle one is the spread, and the right one is the game total. All right, the total amount of points scored in the game from both teams, including overtime. Okay, so the money line over here. All right, this is set pretty in in conjunction with the spread, but often a little different. Okay, so just off a little bit usually. So this is basically saying when you see plus or minus, plus is the underdog, minus is always the favorite. Doesn't matter how it's chopped up, either money line or against the spread. Okay, so Houston Texans are the favorite on the money line and the spread. I misspoke there. Most often they'll be favored on the money line as well as the spread, but sometimes they're not if it's real close to almost a pick 'em game or whatever. Okay, so this minus 360 here. Okay. If you click on it, we're gonna say we want the Texans. If you come in it saying I think the Texans win but not cover, and you want to place money on the money line because this is the win line, outright win. So if you think Miami's gonna win, you're gonna get more money on your dollar, $2.80 per dollar bet. Okay, and if you go here and if you say, well, I think the Texans are gonna win, but Vegas has set it at $3.60. All right, so if you click on that, okay, you see it pops up over here, your card on the right, and you put, I'm going to bet $1. Okay, you're only winning 28 cents on the dollar. That's not very good. Okay, so $10 will get you $2.78. So it's going to cost you to get. Let's go back here. We'll try to get it to win $1. Like how much? So it's basically saying this money line is saying it's going to cost you $3.60 for every dollar that you're going to win. That's what that bet's going to cost you. Okay. Which it's more conservative. But now let me clear that. Let me go over here to the Dolphins getting. All right. They're plus on the money line, $2.80. Okay. If I put that, we'll do $1 again just to show you. So this is saying for every dollar that you wager, you're going to make $2.80. okay, because they're the underdog by 7.5 points. So if they win outright, if you have a hunch and you feel like a team's going to win outright, so you take the plus on the money line, that's what you're wagering, that's what you're going to get. For every dollar, 280. So 10, obviously, multiply that, $28. All right. Now the spread, this is the spread, okay? Miami's getting 7.5. This means, and this is kind of a bad example because of the half point. I'll explain that in a second. Let's actually go down and use Cleveland and Browns at the Steelers for this one. All right, so the Cleveland Browns are getting 8. All right, that's the spread that odds makers have set. So if I feel that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win by more than 8, all right, then I'm going to select the spread here. And you notice here, though, in parentheses, it does have a money line wager. You're never going to get dollar for dollar because the sportsbook has to make their cut, right? So that's where that 110 comes in. It's going to cost you $1.10 to get $1, basically. You know, close to 50-50, but not. All right. So if I bet that, and I bet $1, it's just showing you how it goes, I'm getting 91 cents on the dollar. Okay. But the Steelers have to win by more than 8. At any point that say the Steelers win by 8 directly with this spread, it's a push. You basically just get your money back. It's a push with Vegas both ways. You get your money back. Okay? So in order for you to win that bet, well, I call a push a win because you're not losing money, but if you actually gain money, Steelers have to win by more than 8. Okay? Just 9. That's all they need to win by. Now, with the Browns, they are getting 8. Okay? So, in order for you to gain money on this, you have to win. The Browns need to win outright or lose by 7 or less. So, you're getting 8 points. But the Browns need to win by 7 or less because there's no half points, which I'm going to go back up and talk to this in a minute. Oh, sorry, let me unclick that. All right, so we're on the Browns now. So the Browns, but it's the same. See, 110, it's going to cost you, $1 is going to get you 90 cents essentially, for no matter what pick you bet. So it'd be the same look over here, 91 cents. Now, let's go back up here. You see this half up here? Vegas sets halves. Obviously, there's no half points, right? In these sports. They're just avoiding that. That tells you right now that there's going to be no push because there's no half points, so it can't push at all on the game. So this is going to either be a win for the Dolphins or a win for the Texans, no matter which way you bet. All right. They call that the hook. The half point is called the hook. Okay. So Texans, they win by 8. You bet Texans 7.5, they win by 8, you're good. You bet Texans, they win by 7, you lose. So that's how that's set. Okay, the hook can screw a lot of people over with that half point. So you want to pay close attention to that when you bet these games. So the total over here that I haven't talked about yet. This total is set for the game total. Once again, this has a hook on it too. So we'll go down here, total 42. So basically they're saying Eagles, Jaguars, the total in that game that Vegas is set, this is the over under. Okay, so that's what you're betting. You're betting that the total is going to go over 42, or you're betting that the total is going to go under 42. And usually this is right in line with the spread. These two right here, they usually go right hand in hand with the spread and what you're getting, how much money you're getting for your dollar wager. So same thing here. Okay, I predict that the Eagles, Jaguars are going to go under. $1 should get you, once again, 91 cents, as you see over here. All right. So I'm going to scoot this over a little bit so you can see it better. Okay, so now that's just straight one game wagers, okay? Now, if you ever heard of a parlay, okay, a parlay allows you to make multiple bets on one card, but in order for you to win, you have to win all the bets. You lose one, the card's dead. You lose. So let's say I want Texans, Jaguars, Steelers, Broncos. You see over here, it all populates to the right over here as single bets. You bet these are straight wagers, single bets all the way down. It'll be applied to the same way I just told you. But if I want to group those together in a parlay card, now one single wager of $1, you need all four of your picks to win that $10. Okay, there's a multiplier for parlays. All right. Some sites allow you to do up to 12 picks. Some are 15. Some are 20. It depends on the site you're on. This site only allows 15. But if I pick 15 picks, or I'll do a little more here, that's just going to keep multiplying, and it's a higher payout because you're betting that all these teams are going to cover the spread. And that's what it means by cover. So if you're not familiar with that terminology, so if a team wins the bet, if Houston wins by 8, they cover the 7.5. They cover the line. If Dolphins, lose by 7 or less, they cover the line as well. So I'm going to do another $1 over here with all those picks I just added. So you do $1 multiplier, that's $643. But like I said, every one of your picks have to win. I've won some big parlays off that. It's the odds get work. Obviously get higher and higher, or actually less. However you want to look at it, the odds get more against you. Obviously, the more picks you make, and you think that all those teams are going to cover their spread. But you can also, what they allow you to do in football and basketball is you can also include over-unders with the spreads, all right, on a parlay. Actually, you can do the money line too. Baseball doesn't allow you to do the spread because it's always 1.5 regardless. It doesn't matter, which I'll talk about in a minute. Actually, football, yeah, you can do money line, the left column like I talked about earlier, the win or loss straight up, or the winner straight up, and the over as well, okay? You can also do to where, here, let me clear this out real quick. So that's a parlay. If you win a parlay card, I got to exit out of this dang thing. I'll go straight and all. Shit, I got to do each one. Here, we're going to clear it. Remove all. There we go. Okay, so like I said, you can do Texans. You can do over the total. So I got Texans to win. It's going to be a little bit less. It's not going to be the same amount as if I parlayed 2 picks over and the spread. It's going to be less if I do money line and the over. All right. So you look over here, same thing, and I can parlay just 2 teams. Parlays anything more than 2, $1 gets you $1.44 on the dollar for those 2 picks. If I remove that, if I take the money line off and I pick the spread, it's going to be higher because it's a better payout for the spread than it is the money line. So because they got to cover that amount. So $1 gets you $2.60. Okay, so like I said, you can actually parlay though in football, and basketball. You can take Texans to win. You can take Miami to cover as well, and you can also bet the total. So you're saying that I think the Texans are going to win outright, but I think the Dolphins are going to lose by 7 or less. They're going to cover the spread, and I think the over is going to be, or I think the total is going to go over 44.5. So you can bet that as single wagers, but you can also parlay those 3 together. All right, for football and basketball. So essentially, those 3 picks on a parlay card are going to get, for every $1 that I wager, I'm gaining $3.66 with a win. Okay. And once again, uh, the total carries a hook sometimes too, the half point. Now let's go over here. What else does I want to show you here? Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and select. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Move this over. Over to the left, this menu over here. Parlay Cards, Football Parlay. You can also just go straight here, and you can do multiple sports as well in Parlay Cards. It allows you, some sites are more strict than others on allowing you to do what, but you can group basketball and football. Like say, take the Lakers -3, and I want some hockey, and then you can put all those in one card and bet the parlay across multiple sports. That's why they call it an all sport parlay. So you see here the 1.5 hockey. Oh, I'm going too fast. Sorry. Oh shoot, where'd I go? Trying to find that hockey again. Okay, right here. So hockey, it's always 1.5 spread, same as baseball. You'll never see it different. It's always set, but it's a different money line depending on how Vegas, how confident they are in that 1.5 cover. And also you see the money line over here as well. Same thing as football for hockey. And then you have the over under for the game, goals scored. Okay, so you pay attention here. So if I let's compare these two here. So you see the favorites here, both the Jets, the Winnipeg Jets and the Islanders are -1.5. All right, they're the favorite, but $2.30 is what you're going to gain if you cover that 1.5. If you pick the Jets and they cover the 1.5, they score 2 goals, or they win by 2 goals or more. You're getting $2.30 on the dollar. But if you bet the Islanders, all right, even though they have the same money line, 120, you bet the Islanders, it's 240. So Vegas is telling you that they have more confidence by 10 cents difference, 240, 230, that Winnipeg is going to cover the 1.5 than Islanders are, because 230, 240. So they're going to give you more money on the dollar, $2.40, if you bet the Islanders versus betting the Jets. So that's what you have to pay attention to. Okay, close attention to. A lot of times they can tell you, Vegas and these odds makers can tell you a lot by how they set these numbers. Same thing goes for overs and unders. And that's the same way for baseball. I'm not going to go. It's the same exact thing for baseball, hockey, baseball, the same. It's always 1.5 because they're low scoring sports. So, you can get into soccer. I don't bet soccer or anything like that. I don't really know how that works, but I know that for baseball and hockey. Okay, so what I want to show you here though is football parlay and teaser cards. You can do now teasers. Okay, so teasers, if you haven't heard what teasers are, is you're basically buying points. Okay, you're lowering the spread. So if I wanted to bet the Texans, but I don't feel like I want to bet the spread, but I don't feel like they're going to cover the 7.5. I want to lower that. I want to round 4 or 3 or whatever, or get it down to 1 point. You can tease it. Okay. So if you click here, I'm sorry. Let me do multiple sports here. Let's do this another college football game. So let's say Western Michigan. I'm just picking 2 of them just to have 2 on the card. Okay. You can click. Now it gives you the option to parlay because it's more than 2 and teaser. Okay. With teaser cards, you tease it up or down depending on your bet. So with football, they allow you some sites allow you to do 10-point teasers, 12, 15, whatever, but they minimize how many picks you can make. But with the parlay teaser card, typically with football, it's 6, 6.5, or 7 points. So basically, that's what you're buying. So with the 6-point teaser on these games, all it does is take these spreads because they're favorite and deducts it by 6 points. So now you're betting it's going to be a lower payout, though the multiplier is not as much, okay, because you're not getting as much on your dollar. If you tease it down, you're buying those points. So $1 gets me back to 91 cents for 2 picks, versus if I was just to pick that 2-team parlay, you know, going back to parlay over here. See me on the right. All right. Here's a 2-team parlay. $1 is $2.60. So you see the difference. But teaser cards are awesome because you can buy all those points, and especially if you know a team is gonna, if you're really confident about the team on that against that spread, buy some points, get you that extra buffer. Okay, especially in a parlay, and usually, like I said, you can do up to 15 again. If it's 6 to, depending on what site you're on, but this site will allow you to do 6 points, 6.5, or 7, up to 15 picks each. Okay, and usually pays like 15. Usually pays like 15 to 1, or I'm sorry, higher than that, 150 to 1. Depends on how many picks you have in there. Okay, that's going to change. So. And I highly advise you to play around with this stuff before you go in, especially if you're betting some serious money, to go in and mess around with this and check this stuff and see how different bets line up and different options. But for this video, that's really what I want to cover, is just the terminology and the spreads and the money line and the totals, how to bet it, parlay cards, and teaser cards. You can also tease basketball. Okay, so if I go over here to the left, all right, I'm on NBA, click on NBA. All right. Like I said, you can bet futures. You can bet. That's pretty straightforward if you were to look at that and see what the odds are for futures, like who's going to win the championship, matchups in the finals or whatever. But NBA lines. So I'm going over here. NBA lines, same thing. So if I bet, let's pick some games here. This is just, I'm going to say I'm parlaying 4 games. I go over here back to the right. I can tease these games, but basketball is less because, you know, it's the game outcome is usually closer. The difference in the points per team is usually closer in basketball than it is in football. So they're not going to give you, you know, over 5 points. So 3 options here: 4-point teaser, 4.5-point teaser, 5-point teaser for 4 teams. Okay, and that multiplier, like I said, is in effect. So if I tease these 4 games at 4 points, you already see the difference here. So Brooklyn Nets, now I'm getting 7 points instead of 3. Mavericks are 2.5 instead of 1.5, so on and so forth. So now it's going to be less than a straight play. So $1 for a teaser card is going to give me $2.60 with these 4 teaser picks for 4 points. And if I go back to parlay, now you're back to the original spreads: 4 picks, $1 get you $10. See, because you're going to get paid more. It's worse odds than on a straight parlay than a teaser card. That's the bulk of really what I wanted to show everybody. What I like to do a lot is I'll do a parlay, $5 parlay, 15 picks just for giggles, because you never know, you get lucky. I hit a big one last year, 6-digit card, got lucky off a $5 bet. That's a pack of smokes. That's a freaking a mocha at Starbucks or whatever. So I like doing that just in case. But then I'll go place my smaller parlay cards or my confident bets. I'll place insurance, saying, hey, I really feel confident in these 2, so I'm going to put a little bit more money on it and cover and make up for if I lose these parlays. So you kind of got to it takes a lot of experience, and there's a lot of experience on YouTube, different videos. Like I said, if you guys want to see more in depth on certain things or clarification on how to bet, but this is how you bet sports. All right, and it's the same way if you go to Vegas or you go to any other casino that has a sports book there. This is what same stuff you're going to see. Obviously, I think most are probably on, done on paper. I'm in Detroit, Michigan. I don't get to Vegas much, so I'm pretty much my hands are tied for actually betting at sportsbooks, casinos. So I do most of mine online, but it's going to be the same same deal here. might be a little bit different. A lot of times they just have a number associated with the game, and then you bet, and you just fill in bubbles saying that, I'm taking the home team, with this spread or whatever. But anyways, so like I said, online, I like Sportsbook AG. Pretty easy, user friendly. Check out a few other sites. I know Bovada, Five Dimes, Sports Betting AG. Different sites have different format. And then obviously, if you're doing it on your phone, you got to be able to, with the mobile app or whatever. It's got to be user friendly. You can't be screwing around, trying to figure it out, especially when you're putting your money on the line. But like I said, very profitable with Sportsbook. If you're new into it, be conservative. Don't go crazy. Just start out a couple picks, couple bucks. Just get a feel for it, and then like I said, it's very profitable if you're smart about it. Okay, don't chase. If you have a losing streak, which I've been on several times, don't chase and try to make up, because you're just gonna get, then you start making desperate emotional picks. Stick to what works for you. A lot of times you'll figure out what teams, like for me, I have a handful of teams that I just don't bet. I never will. I don't care what situation that they're in, because I've been screwed over so many times by picking them. You can't trust. You can't trust them to cover a spread, and you got to know those conditions. Basketball, obviously, daily. You can put a lot more homework and stuff into football because it's obviously weekly games. But basketball is daily. A little bit tougher because there's a lot of different conditions and players, questionables, scratched. Recently with NBA, they like to rest players, and hopefully that's turned around. That's just an example. And in baseball, like I said, baseball's tough. It's baseball any given night. An ace could get lit up. It's just, unless you know baseball really well and the actual matchups, lefties, righties, all that crap. I don't bet baseball a lot. Sometimes I'll just mess around and bet baseball, or put it in a parlay one game just for the heck of it. You can go real conservative on these money lines if you just feel the team's going to win, and you want to put up $1 and make less on the dollar. $10 get you $3 or whatever. That's fine too. I mean, that's a very conservative way to bet, and I highly recommend that. You could even parlay all money lines if you want. I didn't intend for this video to be very long. Oh, also I want to mention real quick, they have live betting as well. So when a game is actually in progress, it'll sit there and update, the betting, like the line and everything that you see here. It'll adjust throughout the game depending on how the game is going. So if you